So the Mini 4 Pro, what a hyped drone this is. But I normally come out and give you a 1 month later review on all of these tech products. But this time I've really been struggling, and that reason is that my opinion on the Mini 4 Pro, it keeps changing. So in today's video, let's talk about the good, what I don't like about the Mini 4 Pro, and would I actually still recommend this drone to you? Let's find out. So first impressions when you get this drone, the size of it is tiny, it's remarkable, all the tech packed into this. But your first impressions are going to be, what the hell have I done here? This is so small, how's it not going to get blown away? What have I done? Is this just a toy? You're going to be quite worried at first, but I will put your mind at rest. But the size of it is an advantage, but a disadvantage as well. Compared to say the Air series or the Mavic series, the Mini drones are much smaller. They're smaller than most mobile phones. Now, because of all the tech packed into here, it's going to take a hit somewhere to actually keep this drone under 250 grams. And the hit it takes is the actual feel of it. So it is very plasticky. It doesn't feel like a really strong product like the Mini 2 did. This didn't have a lot of features, but this in comparison just feels much stronger. This is like a flying tank, whereas this, it is a lot more plasticky and it doesn't feel as well built as the older generation Mini 2. Now, one thing I'm really impressed with on this drone is the actual camera quality. So video looks really good out of here. So we can shoot in 4K 60, 4K 100. You've got the rotating camera on the front of it, so it can shoot in horizontal. You press one button and the actual camera rotates and films in vertical. So that means you don't have to crop anything. And out of this, the Air series and the Mavic series, the Minis ones are the only actual drones that rotate the cameras, so that's the fastest way of sharing content if that's something you're into. So that's really good on here. Now it also comes with some new color profiles as well. This is also another advantage to this over that Mini 3 Pro. So you get normal color profile. You've also got HLG, which is like that HDR effect. And you've also got D-Log M. So we had D-Log M on the Air 3 and the Mavic 3 Pro. We now have it on here as well, so 10-bit color. This means you're going to get 1 billion colors captured from the 10-bit from here, which is really impressive. That's going to protect the shadows and the highlights to get you the very best in terms of video quality when you're then color grading. But the main improvement with this drone is not hardware, it's actually software. So this now is feature packed full of new features. So you've got the new Active Track 360, which is fantastic. If you enjoyed Active Track on the Mini 3 Pro, this now is even better. So now you can actually choose on a clock face 360 degrees where you want the drone to track you from. Okay, we had that on the Mavic series, so what's new? But the difference with this is that you can now track you from quite far out on an outer ring, and then you've also got an inner ring as well. So you can get the drone to track you from far out, and then you can actually just hit anywhere on the inner circle as well, and the drone will then move closer to you and track you again anywhere on that 360 clock face. And it's also got waypoints, which loads of you were asking for. We now finally have this. So you can customize and select your own drone mission. So wherever you are, you just go and actually fly the drone and hit the C1 button on your controller every time you want to actually plot a new waypoint. The drone will then remember that and it actually will then fly automatically based on your custom route. It's really clever that we have this. But we also now have cruise control. So cruise control allows you to just fly the drone any direction, press the C1 button again, and the drone will then go into autopilot and start flying. But what else does it have? It has night video mode. So the actual low light performance on here is an advantage. It's an f1.7 aperture, so it lets lots of light into that sensor. So your low light video and photos are going to look great anyway. But it also has this night video mode that we've seen on the bigger drones again on the Mini 4 Pro now. So this then will automatically add some sharpness and noise reduction all for you, so your video quality at night time is going to look fantastic, like you can see the examples here. And if you've never flown a drone before, or you're flying like a bit of a maverick, a bit too fast, a bit too close to objects, this will have you back as well, because the Mini 3 Pro, it had no side sensors, so it could crash a lot when flying sideways. On here, it has now omnidirectional centering, which is full 360 degrees of centering protection. This means when you're flying this drone, it will detect objects, buildings, it will then brake or bypass. So it gives you so much more confidence when flying this drone. So I'm really impressed with the actual camera quality on here. It takes fantastic photos as well. Being able to share them to social media in vertical. It makes my life so much easier not having to crop in. The video quality is really good. Like I say, we've got all the features from that Mini 3 Pro, but the added features of waypoints, cruise control, night video mode, active track 360. But the biggest advantage to this, I would say, is just how easy it is to just take this with you places. It's not a hassle to take this at all because it is so small. You can just put this in the smallest of camera bags or just keep it in a large pocket, and you're going to be able to have a drone with you that takes 4K up to 4K 100, good photos, good videos, good battery life. Everything is good. I wouldn't say everything is exceptional. We'll get to that in a second. But there is nothing particularly wrong with this drone. And I think that's its biggest advantage, being able to take drones like this to majority of places all around the world with hardly any restrictions, being able to fly this closer to buildings, closer to people. If you want a drone with the least amount of restrictions, but the best in terms of quality, I think the Mini 4 Pro is untouchable. But that said though, we need to talk about some downsides as well. Now, before we get into those bad points, I just want to say that this video is sponsored by me. So I'll keep this quick, but I've got my own drone cheat sheets. So these drones are getting so complex now. Remembering all these settings when you're out in that field, it's really difficult. So I've got drone cheat sheets that go through all of the different settings to get you the very most out of your drone. I've also got drone LUTs as well. These are video LUTs. So if you want to use the D-Log M color profiles on here, for example, but you've no idea about color grading, my video LUTs are custom made for any of these drones that you basically just drag onto your footage, and that is it, it's done. And the final one, if you ever got to a location and you keep doing the same drone moves again and again, so you just fly the drone forward, maybe sideways, a top-down shot, you forget about all these other different drone moves and you want to learn the complex ones. Well, I've just brought out my ultimate drone moves cheat sheets as well. These are a physical product shipped straight to you, free shipping. And these go through all the different drone moves. They show you on diagrams exactly what to do on your controllers. So you can go to any location, get these out of your camera bag, and actually then practice some of the more complex drone moves, like a rotation push-in, which is really difficult to do, but it explains to you exactly what to do. So thanks so much for listening to me. Now let's talk about the downsides. The first one isn't necessarily something which is a huge negative, but it's actually the camera. So again, it's an f1.7 aperture on here, which is fantastic for low light and nighttime videos. Yeah, we want loads of light coming into that sensor now. But in the daytime, having all of this light coming in, it means one of two things. Either one, you're going to leave it in auto and the drone will just bump that shutter speed really high to compensate for all of that light coming into that sensor. Or two, you adjust the aperture yourself to say f9, f11, just like we can on the Mavic series. But you can't do that on the Mini 4 Pro. This is not an adjustable aperture. So the only way you can actually reduce the light coming into this sensor is with ND filters. So I'm not going to talk about ND filters in this video because I've mentioned them so many times, but basically an ND filter, it's just like sunglasses. It's going to reduce the amount of light going into that sensor. So this is fantastic, and it's the reason why I use an ND filter all the time during daylight. At night time, I'll take the ND filter off, but during daylight, it's essential to have an ND filter on. Otherwise, your footage is going to look really sharp and you're not going to be impressed with the look of that. If you want to get shots like this on the screen, all of these video shots, they were all using ND filters, so I can bring that shutter speed down. So I got the Mini 4 Pro with the DJI RC2. I would say this is like the Baller Plus edition. This is so much better than the DJI RC, and it's because of these here. These external antennas are going to change your life. So the signal performance is so much better. Even in CE mode, I did a test recently using this, and the signal is so much better. I went to America recently, and FCC mode, you guys have got it good. That is so good, the signal. But even in CE mode, for us poor folk here, the CE mode signal performance from this controller is brilliant. It's got a new chip inside of here as well, so it doesn't feel like a computer from 30 years ago. It's much faster, so actually changing menus, changing settings, it's a lot better on here. Only downsides I would say is the actual screen brightness. It's still the same 700 nits brightness from before, which for majority of the time, like, it's not that bad. I mean, that's full brightness now, but when I'm actually outside, actually using it in bright conditions, it can sometimes be a bit tricky seeing it. But Overall, this is so much actually easier than using your phone, getting your phone, connecting it to the top, getting the wire, realizing the wire's not there. This whole system now being built in is great. I would say 8 out of 10, just because the screen brightness wasn't actually improved. Okay, so I've got to talk about battery life, and the best thing about battery life on the Mini 4 Pro is the actual charging case. So get this is fantastic. It comes with a Fly More combo, just like the Mini 3 Pro one. So this is going to charge your batteries in here, and this basically just weighs nothing. It's so lightweight. You can actually use this to power your phone as well. Use it like as a power bank. Once you've got all the batteries inside of here, these can actually charge anything via the USB-C. These also charge really fast. It takes around about an hour per battery to charge. You can also charge this via a car charger as well. So the actual battery charger is the best thing. Notice I didn't say battery charger. Now the battery life on here, that's my biggest gripe really about the Mini 4 Pro. So they say about 34 minutes. That's never going to happen in a million Sundays. So because it's got all of these features built into here, you're not going to get the fantastic battery life when you're going to be using all them features. If you're just using like 4K and you're flying in a straight line, then you might get about 25 minutes. But the average that I would get out of each one of these batteries is about 18 minutes. And that's not fantastic, which means you're going to definitely want a minimum of 3 batteries. One in the drone, and get this kit so you get an extra 2. Otherwise, your life is going to be miserable. You're going to get to a location and actually think, right, I've got all this footage to take. Wow, look at all this. This is amazing. And then you're getting like, your battery's like, going straight down. Because it's using all of these features, it might be windy, there's small propellers on here. It's going to take a hit in actual battery life. So yeah, because of all these features built into it, even though it's 34 minutes, in real world, I'm getting round about 18, 20 minutes. Now, we mentioned at the start of the video about the actual advantages to this being small, and it is a great advantage. The only downside to that is that it's not fantastic in the wind, so you do need to be careful. I mean, it's not bad. It's actually remarkable how it actually fights the wind and tries to hover in place, but you might get some actual camera shake because this gimbal is also trying to fight and keep stabilized as well. So depending where you're going to be actually flying these drones, where you live, do you live in a really windy area? Are you intending on flying to places and actually going really high up in the mountains and flying this drone where it's going to be windy? Then you might actually want to skip this and get the Air, which is going to be a lot stronger and much better in the wind. Now the Air 3 to the Mini 4 Pro, they are pretty similar, but the Air 3 has that 3x zoom. It also has a lot bigger propellers. It's a lot stronger in the wind. So the advantage to this drone being small could also be seen as a disadvantage as well in relation to the wind resistance. Now the USB-C port on the back and the memory card slot, they're both exposed. There's no actually protection on them at all. So if you're out flying and you get a sudden downpour of rain, that's not going to end well if you get water in here. On the Air 3, an advantage to that, it does have a rubber seal around it. I know it's going to be down to the actual weight saving, like anything possible to actually save weight, but just be careful if you do get this drone when you're out flying if the weather outside looks a bit dodgy. Now the next point, this is going to shock you, but it's actually the camera. Now just hold on a sec. So I actually really do like the video quality that we're getting out of here. The D-Log M is fantastic. The photos coming out here are really good, but I would have just liked something different, something extra, a bit more innovation. We saw loads of innovation with the Mini 3 Pro, the rotating camera. We've never seen that before. That was fantastic. We have that on here. I know it's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it, but I just would have liked something extra. Maybe a really good integrated digital zoom that uses computational photography to get that end result through software processing really good. Just like what happens now on an iPhone, you take that picture and a second later it's like, God, look at that now, that looks fantastic. Because of all the computational photography going on in the background to actually make that look better through software. Why can't we have that on a small drone like this, where you're limited in relation to the weight and the size of it? Because from going from a drone that has like 2 or 3 lenses, like the bigger drones, to this, it's a massive step down. The Air 3 has that 3x 70mm lens. It's fantastic. Such a good focal length to be able to use and switch up. On here, you're limited to just that one lens. So some kind of innovation. Maybe we might see it on the Mini 5 Pro, but yeah, the camera is fantastic. if I'm just being super picky, just something extra would have been nice. The propellers on here are really good, super strong, nice and small and lightweight, fantastic. I've not got a problem with that at all. It's the actual way they connect, this screw system on here, I can't stand it. So it means whenever you take a drone out and you want to fly this, you've got to take the small little DJI screwdriver with you to actually be able to unscrew these and take them off. It's just not a fantastic, enjoyable experience if you have a crash or you get any kind of cuts on this propeller and need to change it. How many of you out there who are flying your Mini 4 Pro actually take that DJI screwdriver with you every single time? I bet not all of you. Whereas on the Air series, the Mavic series, you can actually just push in, turn, and it actually comes straight off. Now that again probably is down to weight, but it would be so much better if we can actually have that rather than this screw system, taking the screwdriver with us every single time we want to fly this. Now with all that said though, the actual drone that I do find myself flying more than any other drone is the Mini 4 Pro. There's something about these drones. It doesn't have the quality of the Mavic series. It doesn't have that 3x telelens of the Air series. But the overall ease of use is something that none of those drones have. Just being able to grab this drone on any trip that I want to go on, it just makes flying and taking this drone with me so much easier. I don't have to think, should I take that Air 3? Should I take that Mavic series? Have I got room in my bag? This can fit in my coat pocket. I can take this, the controller, the batteries, and the ND filters. And that's everything I need. The batteries on the Air series and the Mavic series are double the size of this, you know, so the actual space and effort, you might be taking more things with you. Just be able to just take these things with me and get great photos and videos are the biggest reason why I think this is so popular, these small drones. For travel, people love these small drones. So yes, I would say this isn't like a huge upgrade like we got with the Mini 3 Pro from the Mini 2. That was a massive hardware difference. The Mini 4 Pro, it's like an S upgrade. This could be a Mini 3S Pro. It's a Mini 4 Pro, but its features, the amount of features packed into here, the RC2 is fantastic. It does have some downsides, nothing's perfect, but yes, I still recommend this Mini 4 Pro. So I know when any of these new products like this come out, there's so much hype surrounding it. 6,000 YouTube videos, you have the fear of missing out, you go and buy it, you might love it, but you also might have buyer's remorse as well. So I'm going to tell you the advantages and also the disadvantages as well. And that's what I've done today. So if you have enjoyed this video, just do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe. Around about 20% of you are watching these videos are subscribers. So 80% aren't subscribed. It'd be fantastic. I'd really appreciate it if you just hit that subscribe button. Got loads of more videos coming really soon. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, just give me a fist pump in the comments down below. I'll give you one back. Have a look on my website, see if there's anything you want to check out, including those new drone moves, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.